Hello my treasures, it's time to light up standard with Lightshow Mage. Essentially we're going to be taking a twist on the stereotypical Lightshow Mage list, where we're going to be using the new Rogue Tourist in order to give ourselves additional copies of Lightshow through convincing Command, and we're also going to be able to discount our combo through She Shell. This should allow us to overwhelm our opponent by turn 6 if we get lucky enough. If not, go into the late game where we can use Sif in combination with any of our light shows in order to OTK our opponent. Now, for the Mulligan guide of the deck, the most important card to look out for is going to be Stargazing. This will allow you to draw into the light show on turn 4 or 5 if you start with the coin. Outside of this, you're going to be looking for any of your turn 1 plays, such as Artificer or Discovery of Magic, and finally any draw power cards. Now, with all being said, let's look at some games. Okay, time for game against Paladin. I haven't been playing this deck too much yet, but there are a few cards in this list that might not make it into the final list. Skater is one of those cards, just because it does feel a little bit inconsistent with what we're trying to actually do. This opener doesn't look that bad. Come on. Oh, I don't mind if I do. I'll take a free light show. All right, so probably turn 2, we'll probably hero power, either hit their minion, whatever they slam down, or hit their face. We actually have a really good curve right now. Like, oh boy. Oh. Also another card that may or may not make it into the final list. There's a few cards in this deck that I'm like, man, we... Also, hitting there probably was a mistake, but it is what it is. There are a few cards that I'm like, they're really cool, but they just don't end up helping the deck that much. Eudora is another one. Petty Theft also... If we cut Eudora, then cutting Petty Theft makes sense, right? And also, how did we manage to dodge the minion on board? That's actually kind of amazing. But yeah, perfect curve here, because convincing Pawn Man will make us hit for 3 instead of 2, which is great. And then the next one will hit for 4, which is even better. And we have the Stargazing into Light Show, which is incredible. We might not have the win next turn, but we're going to get pretty close. Actually, it depends. Because... I'll take the other convincing God, man. Let's go. Let's light up their world a little bit. Okay, so no matter what, we would have been 1 off. Even if that had hit face. But that's actually a pretty good top deck. Come on. Come on. Don't have that many minions. Let us do the 6 damage to face. That's all we need to do. Okay, Outfitter. The one downside about this deck in particular is unless you mentally keep track of stuff with Con Man, you won't know the exact count that you're going to be hitting. We're going to ping that, and come on, 3 to face. That's all we need. Pop, 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 pop. Let's go. Okay, time for a game against DK. Let's see what they have in store for us. So, oh... okay, we're not keeping Light Show. We're keeping Stargazing and everything else here. Stargazing is great, especially because we have the coin. Okay, 2 Tide Pools might not be the best option here, but it is better than nothing, right? There's a few cards that I almost included in the list, which is like the Skater card that gives you armor, depending on like if your opponent has a big minion or not. But it felt a little bit too slow. Sif is also one of those cards that I almost considered cutting from the list. And Eudora... I was so close to including her, but she just felt really slow for the deck. All right, let's slam this minion down, and we should be good to go from there. Okay, there's mining casualties. I will say this, though. I might be actually able to finally use a Sif in the thumbnail. I don't think I've ever done a Sif Mage or a Lightshow Mage on the channel, which is actually quite impressive, given... Oh, actually, technically we did Sif Mage, because I did a Ferrero deck where we were trying to copy Sif. Technically not the best version of this, but it's still a funny enough version to include on the channel. I almost forgot that deck existed. I think it's actually in, like, the top 20-ish videos on the channel. It's also really cool, like, seeing the progression, especially this set of, like, what's in my top 10 compared to what's not. And when I say the set, I mean including the decks before the mini set, because we actually are almost, I think we're 8 out of 10 from Perils in Paradise, which is amazing. I think we finally hit our niche of weird wacky decks, and I'm all there for it. I won't lie. Honestly, all the decks that are in the top 10 are the ones that I would have loved to see there. We got a good mix of things between Warlock decks, Paladin decks, and so on and so forth. It's really nice to see. All right, so we can coin out Stargaze and then Lightshow. The reason why we weren't doing this on previous turns was because I really wanted to get the Lightshows in the tide pools, and this is the easiest way to do so. We'll probably slam down Convincing Combat next turn, I would assume. Sure, we won't be able to like get the Lightshow instantly, but that's still pretty decent. It is kind of sucky that we didn't have the Lightshow in the deck for the other Stargazing, but it is what it is. Because that would have been the perfect game. Okay, let's use Convincing Command. They'll probably chain pretty good here. Slam down the Miracle Salesman. Okay. Oh, okay, so it's going to be Pure Blood DK. You know what? The funny thing is, I'm trying to think of a deck for Halloween. I think when Halloween happens, we will probably delay the video until Thursday instead of the Wednesday before. And I'm thinking we're going to do some type of, like, Headless Horseman DK list for that week. I don't know. We'll see. There's, like, a Shuffle DK list that could be really fun to try out. We're going to grab the Lightshow here, get rid of their minion, do some damage to their face. Now, do we want to trade or do we want to use Discovery of Magic? That is the true question. I think we're going to use Discovery of Magic here. Oh, Ice Trap could actually be pretty good. Okay. Oof, a 7/7 and a 6/6. That's not going to be that easy to deal with. Okay, how do we want to do this? We could... Okay, we are at 7 mana. I'm trying to think of, like, mathematically what would be the best solution here. Alright, let's sell... or place down the tide pool. Use Lightshow. Come on, destroy most of the mid... I mean, it actually cleared out of the board. Basically, AoE at home, I guess. I would have preferred kind of some 2-hit face, but it is what it is. We still do have that Lightshow in hand. Knick-Knack Shack is also one of those cards that probably could be cut out of the list. I don't know. There's a few cards in this list that I'm like, maybe we cut this, maybe we cut that. I don't know. We'll see in the long term. We'll find out like what's in the final version and what's not in the final version. Oh, I will take a Con Man. Right, Con Man hits. Clears out the board technically. Now the question is, do we use the other one or do we use something else here? I almost want to use something else. Yeah, this will probably be the safer bet. Come on, something good. Give me something good. Oh, I mean, if we had additional mana, Workshop would be really good. But currently, it doesn't really do much. Oh, Soul Freeze is actually pretty decent here. Okay. It's interesting to see, like, all the different variants of the Ziliax that does exist in current Standard Hearthstone. We have an easy way to, like, clear out everything. Let's just get something randomly. Oh, that could do it. Okay, there's Rising Waves that doesn't clear the board, but it almost does, and then we can Hero Power for the rest. Okay, I mean, we don't have any minions, so that's kind of funny. Okay, let's slam this she-shell down. Heal up as much as humanly possible. Slam down Knick-Knack Shack for now. And then Ice Trap. We're not going to use the Knick-Knack Shack until we can actually draw some cards off of it. Okay, there's Ice Trap into... It would have been better if that wasn't Stake Oil, but it is what it is. Okay, there's Molten Magma. Okay. I mean, just do as much damage as humanly possible, I guess. Also, like, technically speaking, like, something as wide as a board as humanly possible is probably the play. We still have one. Oh, we don't. We actually don't have one thing in the deck still. But it does draw us some cards, so we might as well, right? Alright, see what we can grab. Oh, the 1 damage actually clears out the board. And I mean, we're down to 7, which is kind of sussy, but like, we should be fine. Oh, armor gain is actually pretty good here. At least for us. It can actually make us survive. Oh, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Oh, absolutely perfect. Oh, we can... I was really, really hoping that we would, you know, get a light show off of that because it would have been hilarious. But it is what it is. It does give us a lot of... a decent amount of armor, at least. Okay. To be fair, I mean, technically that makes sense, but like, not really what I would do if I was them. Okay, there's ice barrier into. Actually, we're going to survive a little bit here. All right, let's draw a card. Oh, that could be good. I don't know what. Or miracles. Or I mean, discovery of magic isn't bad. I'm trying to think of like what exactly we would need of. Okay, here's a tough decision. Holy spell is probably the hardest for us to actually grab. Nature is also pretty hard, but I don't think we're going to last 3 turns if we grab it this turn. Oh, burn out or down wouldn't be bad. Her discovery of magic, why not, I guess. Oh, I will take some heals. See what else we can grab. Okay, Frostbolt gets rid of the other minion. It's not gonna go so well. So good news is we could, in theory, do a lot of damage here. Depends on what you top deck to. Burnout. Come on. Oh, that could be good. It doesn't clear out the board, but it does get pretty close to clearing out the board. Because we could slam this down, do the 6 damage to everything, and then hero power to get rid of one of them, and then we're still going to be stuck at like 13-ish HP. And given the fact that we know they're not going to be exactly Rainbow or the Frost Unholy variant of the same list, and they're pure blood, we should have a better chance. Top deck that we would love to see is the other creation. That's not technically it, but we could get it. I mean, that does kind of guarantee it. Yeah, we're not burning anything here, I don't think, if we do it. Okay, this should clear. I mean, it doesn't technically completely clear out the board, but it does get pretty close. Wait, 6 damage. Oh, we might actually be able to get the dream game here. Come on, come on, come on. We just gotta survive an additional turn. We can't take 13 damage to face. Holy is, I think, at the last. Perfect. Okay, math. So, 9 times 8? 9 times 8? If they don't have that too many minions on board, we should be able to get it next turn. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. This is probably the only time Sif is going to matter. But, you know, it is what it is. Oh, and we have snake oil in case we don't finish them off with the light show. Come on, come on. Just pass it to us. Come on. Ugh. Putting more bodies on board is a little bit annoying. But let's slam down Sif. Let's light up the world a little bit. Bam, 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 bam. GG. Okay, time for a game against Mage. Let's see what they have in store for us. It'll be interesting to see this actual matchup because technically their version of the list, or Big Spell Mage in theory, should be better than this list. Just because of the fact that like Big Spell Mage has a way to put down a bunch of minions. So, but as long as we could get the ball rolling with the light shows quickly, we should be fine. Artificer is also a really decent way to keep ourselves alive. I know, like, I've tested this deck a little bit with and without it, and I think with it just makes a lot more sense than without it. I will also say this. I'm running Sif, but so far she hasn't come up a single time, and boy oh boy, am I so tempted to just remove her from the list. I think she's a little bit too slow for this deck. In theory, it's really cool to, like, discount her with She-Shell, but, like, it doesn't come up that often. Or it hasn't come up at all. Come on, 3 cards. Okay, Portalmancer, I don't really care. Oh, Convincing Comments. Well, this is also the other reason why I'm like, maybe we get rid of the skaters. Just because, like, having a lot of high-cost cards is a little bit hurtful in this list, just because you're not drawing as much off of them. There's actually quite a few cards in my initial version here. Because, I'll say this, I saw someone doing a similar idea against me on ladder when I was trying, after I recorded Wednesday's video, and I was like, oh, this is a neat idea. And then I played 3 games with it, and then I was like, I was like, let me see if I can jam something fun together with this idea. And we just threw everything I thought would fit in the list at first, and then called it a day. The first 3 games were great. I won't lie, they were really, really nice. However, it has been a bit of a blur since then. I really wish this deck was better than it is, but, you know, I will probably end up clickbaiting it a bit because, you know, you kind of have to clickbait if you want it to succeed on YouTube, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Also, this isn't the best play, but I think it's better than nothing. If we could get a counter spell off of that, that would probably be good. So, Noragon, so I know Big Spell Mage, there's 2 variants of it floating around right now. There's this version, which is centered around Orb. And basically, you're trying to use Noragon as like a backup win condition. Since it does kind of also counteract like normal Big Spell Mage, Stargazing is really funny. I don't think we need it, though, because we already have one in the hand. But we're going to try to get rid of this as quickly as possible. I don't like leaving it up for a turn, but this is better than nothing. Okay, 2 random mage secrets. Good thing we do have a spell that we don't mind getting countered. Okay, She-Shell. Oh, also, that's a card that I forgot to add into the list. We might be able to find a way to add it into the list, but, like, in theory, I don't see it coming up too much. And it is kind of a... I mean, they don't have a choice of what secrets they get. How? Oh, okay. Thank you, game. Okay. I don't mind them drawing 2 cards a turn. Okay, Metal Detector. Metal Detector doesn't really do anything if we don't have any minions to slam down. We do have that Convincing Conman for more hits, which is nice. So Convincing Conman. Let's convince them that Light Show is better than Big Spell Mage. Yeah, I had a feeling that was Explosive Runes. Ice Barrier in theory is good, but I think Azurite... Oh, Light Show once again. Let's go. Okay, let's grab Geyser. Hopefully this will be enough. We burned one of their convincing. Yeah, there's a few cards in this list that I'm just like, maybe we don't run them. Sif is also one of the cards. I really, really hope we can get some type of replay with Sif. I will say this, the next time Sif comes back into the shop, and Eudora is the other one, by the way. The signature rare, I will probably pick that up. I'm a huge fan of that signature rare. Like, I love that card. Oh, we screwed that up, didn't we? Well, I mean, that does give us 2 spells, so that's fine, I guess. Can we get anything? Oh, stargazing. We have another one in the deck, I think. We're burning something here. Hopefully nothing bad or good. Okay. You know, well, I think this should be GG. The light show for 6. I think this is good. Let's go! Alright, now that we're through the games, let's discuss my final thoughts of the deck. So, I played 30 games with the deck, ended up with a 40%. This deck actually felt better than some of the initial versions of Lightshow that I've tested over the years, even though I've never really covered it on the channel. It turns out the fact that Convincing Command does give you access to additional Lightshows makes this deck quite powerful, especially given the fact that you don't have to rely on any arcane spells to make this deck more consistent. Overall, I think the main thing that's missing from this deck is like early game removal tools that isn't Rising Waves. And if you could somehow consistently get more early game removal tools that isn't this card, then I think this deck would be quite competitive. We might actually see some deck like this form around the next set, depending on what support we get there. But overall, if you're looking for a way to use Lightshow in Standard Hearthstone, this is probably going to be the best opportunity for you to do so. And like always, if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, bye-bye.